and y could be. So take a couple minutes. I'm videotaping this class. I can't do it. Sorry. Oh, I'm not even. Ryan, why don't you sit in your desk? Nope, sit down. I love that you put your name on it. Did you get it?
Yeah.
So what is it? What does x equal? What? What does y equal? Does everyone see y? Or why that is? Huh? Do you like what I did there? Because 10 plus 1 is 11. 10 times 1 is 10. Will you turn on the board for me, friend? All right, so last week we talked about the Pythagorean theorem. Anyone remember what the theorem is?
A squared plus b squared equals c squared.
And what kind of triangles?
Next time, can you put the times thingy? Because I was confused.
The time thingy?
Yeah, you didn't put anything there, so I just thought it was
But
blank.
that's, I understand.
Do you need me to zoom
Yeah,
in?
can you zoom in, please? I get what you're saying, but when you take tests, either past high school and that is how they're going to represent multiplication. So that's why I did it that way. I actually did it on purpose that way. What?
I'm gonna run
I
to the
can't hear you.
bathroom.
At all. Did you freeze it?
Oh no, I didn't. I freeze it.
Nope, now it's a paper.
Oh, I zoomed in. There we go.
All right, so proportions, we talked about this earlier in the school year. Proportions have equal cross products. So that means x is equal to 6. X times 6, I'm not saying this correctly. 6x is equal to 5 times 8. I did the multiplication thing. Is that what you meant? Okay. Oh, it wasn't even you. All right. So what is 5 times 8?
40.
Now we have 6x. If we're solving this equation, what's our last step? Marcellus, you doing this or you gotta get out of the chair? I don't care. If you're in the comfy chair, you're doing the schoolwork. All right. So what did you say? 40 divided by 6. So what is x? It's not going to be an equal number. It's going to be a decimal. So 6.7 over 8 is equal to 5, 6. All right, so how are we going to set up the next one? What are we going to cross multiply? 9 and x, good. And 22.5 and 10. So 9x set equal to 22.5 times 10. All right, what's 9 times, I'm sorry, what's 10 times 22.5? If we're not using a calculator, what's the easiest way to figure it out? When we multiply something by 10, what do we do with the decimal? Ryan, do you remember? Where do we move it?
So that would be 2,250.
That would be if we multiplied it by 100. We're just moving the decimal over one spot.
I didn't even see there was a decimal point. At least
Okay.
you wrote it.
But on your paper you see it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So 9x is equal to 225. Now what do we do from here?
225 divided by 9.
Which is? You got it. Good. All right. So when we're solving proportions with multiple variables, we want to write out our equations using cross products. What's another word for products? Multiplication. So example 1, we would cross those and cross those just like we did in example 1 and 2. So it would be 4x equals 7. We would set this up in parentheses and then use distributive property. Step 2 would be to simplify each side. We do that by distributing the 7 to the x and to the 2 by multiplying. So what's 7 times x? Good. What's 7 times 2?
14.
Good. And it's a positive 14, so I'm going to add in the addition there. I need my numbers with a variable on one side and my plain numbers on the other side. So what do I have to bring over to do that? It's also called isolating the variable. So what am I bringing over? Can I bring over the 4x? What does that leave me with if I bring this over? It leaves me with 0. So what am I'm going to actually bring my 7x over. It's a positive, so I'm subtracting.
Okay, button.
Yep. And my last step, can you just tell me my last step before you leave? You know this.
Minus 14 divided.
Yep. Good, Logan. All right, 14 divided by -3 is what? 3 does not go in equally into 14, and that's okay. We're going to have decimals with this. 4.7 or, because you rounded up.
I rounded it.
Yep, or 4.6 with this little dasher over it, because the 6 is repeating, right? Skylar? Skylar, you almost done? I did.
I'm done.
Awesome. For this, if you want, use colored pencils or markers, because at different times it's easier if you label your triangles and shapes so that they match.
Is this my paper?
It should be, yeah. So I'll be using, it's okay. I'll be using different colors. With similar figures, you must set up proportions first by identifying corresponding, tape. Sides. Okay, so what does that look like? So I'm going to first determine that I'm going to use my pink over purple. So my pinks will go on top and my purples will go on the bottom, okay? So this is one corresponding side because this angle, they're saying, is equal to this main triangle. See how it's a triangle and a triangle?
Okay, use one of your pens for a different color.
Yeah. So that means my A minus 8 goes on top. Does anyone have a guess what the other side would be that we're comparing it to? We have no information up here, right? And it doesn't make sense that this or this would be equal to this
Is the bottom
or
pink?
proportional to this. Yep, so this is pink, and then this is going to be pink for our second fraction. So that means on my top over here is going to be 20. Do we see that so far? A to 8 is comparable or proportional to 20. This triangle and this main triangle. Since I used a piece from this triangle, I can't then have this fraction have anything to do with the big triangle. It needs to be part of the small triangle. So that means that this is going to be the bottom of my first fraction. See how we're setting that up? So this and this are proportional to this and what? 8. Okay? So now I have everything labeled, so now I'm going to cross multiply and solve. What's my variable for this? It's not x. What are they listing it at for this?
A.
A, good. So 8 times A minus 8. Do we see why?
Yeah.
Equals 20 times 4. Now we're going to simplify both sides. I'm going to start with my left side. I'm going to give 8 to A and to negative 8. So what's 8 times A?
8A.
Yep. And what's 8 times negative 8? Remember, you have to bring the sign negative 64. Good. You have to bring the negative with it. So I simplified this side. I can't combine a variable and a non-variable, right? So now I'm going to the other side of the equal sign. So what's 20 times 4?
80.
Good. Now from here, we have a multi-step equation. What do we bring over? So we need to isolate the variable. My variable is 8a. I need to get this by. Is it a negative or a positive? So I'm? Yep. Good. I bring down my 8a. 80 plus 64 is 144. Logan, let's finish up, please. Can somebody tell me what 144 divided by 8 is? Good. A equals 18. Now in some of the questions that we've had on quizzes and tests, some of them tell us just to solve for A, and then some of them tell us to say what the side equals where we have to plug the variable back in. This is saying determine the value of the variable. So are we done with this program, this problem?
No.
Do we know what the variable is? So we are. It does not ask us for a side or the length of the triangle or anything, so we are good.
And if we did, we would just plug it in.
Yep, you would just plug it back in right here. So you could, what's 18 minus 8? Good. So it's 10 to 2. So how much bigger is the larger triangle? 10 to 20. What's that? It's double, right? Yep, good. All right, so now example. Oh, I'm videoing this. Okay. What? So what's the scale factor? We haven't gotten to that quite yet, but if you want it. Oh, you are?
shape, doesn't seem like this shape is equity.
Gotcha. All right, so now we're gonna label our sides. I'm gonna do pink on top of yellow this time. Oops, or orange. Wow. All right, so pick any side to start. Any side. What are we picking?
10.
10, good. Looking at these two pictures, can we agree that this shape is flipped? That they're not side by side equal?
Yeah.
Okay, so is 10 gonna be equal to x minus 3? Or proportional to x minus 3? No, what is it gonna be proportional to, Ryan? What?
9.
Nope, because it's over here. It's rotated, right? It pivoted. So 10 is going to be proportional to x. Okay? So now since I used my smaller rectangle over here, I have to continue with this shape, or with this these numbers on this first fraction. So then I'm going to highlight this side, 9. So what is 9 going to be proportional to? X minus 3. Good, Abby. From here, what am I going to do?
3x times 10, x minus 3 times 10.
What do we call that? Cross.
Cross
Yep, cross multiplying. This marker is no good. You have a marker right there, Skylar?
Let me think.
I got one.
This one?
Thanks. All right. Now there's nothing I can do to the right of my equal sign. 9x there's nothing to combine it with yet. So on my left though, I have to distribute my 10 to x and negative 3. What's 10 times x? 10 times negative 3? Oops. All right. Now I have to get the variable and the plain numbers on opposite sides of the equal sign. So what am I bringing over?
9.
But what would that leave me with? It would leave me with nothing on this side of the equal sign. So I have to bring the 10x over. Because it's positive, I'm subtracting. I bring down my negative 30. What's 9 minus 10? Negative 1. Good. What's negative 30 divided by negative 1?
I go talk to Mr. Rowe.
Her door's shut, but you can try. Positive 30, because two negatives equal a positive. Good, Abby. And again, this is asking for the value of x.
It's already the next box.
So we are done. Thank you. I think I'm on. All right, so we don't need to do more of the practice with the fractions on the next page, so I want you guys to try to do 4 and 5, and we'll circle back and go over them together, okay? So you see A, B, C, that little squiggly line means proportional. So A, B, C is proportional to D, E, F. So again, I would highlight your sides. I have plenty of markers to do it, or colored pencils. Actually, I might have to borrow some colored pencils from McShay. All right,